Fawzia Mirza is the writer and director of the incredible film The Queen of My Dreams. Let's just get into it. I have to say, watching this film, I felt so many feelings, all of the things. I was crying, I was laughing. And you described this film as a love letter to mothers. So, why was this specific family relationship such an important one for you to explore?
I mean, I think it's so relatable. We often talk about the love stories between romantic love stories, between husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 wife, wife, all the all the people, all the possibilities. But I think that the sort of root of how we love really comes from both self-love or lack of self-love and also that connection to our parents and the mother. And so that was really fascinating. That was something I've been thinking a lot about over the years and was part of my own reflective journey of self. And um, I wanted to really dig into that more and share that with audiences.
That's so beautiful. And it's such a vulnerable topic to explore. I mean, like romantic love is intense as it is, but I think when it comes to family, it can be very difficult to put that out there for people to either judge or connect with. And so was that something you struggled with at all? And how did you kind of move past that?
Well, I have definitely found my comfort zone through sharing my work publicly. And which means sharing of myself publicly. And maybe even before I was comfortable being out as a queer Muslim brown person, I was still sharing who I was and my journey towards that self discovery, through short films and web series and posting about it online or sharing festivals I've attended. And so, ironically, I backed into this level of comfort. Um, but my first short film was in 2012, and the the sort of processing I went through in making that and sharing it really helped me. And the way I felt after, the sort of fact that I felt like I could make it, and survive and thrive, and found this film festival community by making and sharing that short film. It sort of bolstered my um, confidence in self, but it also bolstered my sense of knowing that if I wanted to really be who I wanted to be, I had to continue to excavate the stuff inside that I didn't want to look at. And, I think it's also relatable across all humanity that there are things that we are, whether whatever family we're born into, whatever country, whatever culture, whatever religion, society imposing this upon us, but like the patriarchy. But when you have a body, you are often made to feel shameful of having a body. I mean, that is universally true, sadly. And so just really kind of finding that love for the body, that this is what it looks like. It has this kind of hair, and I have this kind of shape, and I will never be able to wear that belt with those pants and look the way that person does. You know what I mean? It's like so basic, but I think it's that stuff that is also related to finding that level of self-love. It's excavating all of it, until there's no more goop left inside, and that you can just be your most transcendent, expansive self.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I'm like, I have to get my mom to sit down and watch this film with me. I'm like, I'm not quite sure if she'll get it, but I think there's a part of her that it will touch. And you mentioned like this really does transcend so many lines. I mean, of course, there's elements of talking about like Southeast Asian culture, queerness, but also, I mean, as a white Eastern European girl, like there were, again, I connected to it as well, like so, so deeply. And so I'm wondering, you say this is a truly indie film and it has this broad reach across the world. Why do you think this story is resonating with so many? And is this something that you really expected to see out of the film after you created it?
I don't know what I expected, quite frankly. I think, you know, what I hoped when I world premiered it was that the people who made it and collaborated on it with me could see that we did something really special together. Just given the way we made it, this sort of bifurcated process of two countries, so the crew wasn't on both sides of it. And it was a deeply stylized film that not everybody knew how it would come together. And we found things in the edit. I wasn't even sure how our team would receive it. Um, and I guess, I don't know, I'm so moved by the fact that people are moved by the film and not just one kind of person or one community of people, but people. I'm moved by that. And it taps into the universal truth that we are just feeling our feelings every single day. And the way, I guess going back to it, it's like I think when we are true to ourselves and really listen to our gut about who we are and how we treat people and why we are, and we're responding really honestly to ourselves, and what we make is a really honest reflection of our truth, of course it will resonate. It has to. Um, and I think the thing that I've really been thinking a lot about in the last year is that I don't make just for me. I make for us, for the audience. And I care about our feelings. It's how I move in the world, but it's also what I want to put out into the world in the form of TV and film. And so that reaction, that kind of collective reaction, has really reinforced that style of creating, I guess you could say.
Wow. Okay. And I know you're a Pisces, so Pisces are also just deeply introspective and emotional. And how did you come to this place of self-awareness and self-love? I think it's something that can be so difficult for people to get to. And like you said, it is such an important place to be in because I think from that space you can create and connect. And I think we need more of that today.
I think that, I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this stuff. I didn't go to self-love school and I didn't go to film school or, uh, I feel like if you want to, you have to want to,
Mm.
you have to want to love yourself. You have to want to look at the things that you don't want to look at, whether it's in yourself or out in the world. You have to see that there are things about yourself that might be reflected in people that you're around, family members, friends. And if those are reflected in you from others, then maybe there are certain people around you that aren't healthy for you or that are part of your wound. And that means also potentially having to see those qualities in people you care about and having to step away from those people for a little while. Not everybody wants to do that. It's not easy. It's hard. It's painful. You may never get them back in your life. I don't think it's an easy process, and it can take years, as it took me years, but I think it's worth it because I think you're worth it.
And getting back to the film, there's a very stark contrast between tradition and the desire to break the rules, especially when it came to Azra's desire to grieve her father's death in her own way. How do you think we can respect the past while remaining true to the present? Is this even possible?
I guess I wonder if the present is that different than the past. In the film, there is a motif of circles and repetition, and there's a lot of little things that you see that come back over and over again. And they're not even big themes, but it's about repetition and cycles. And so, I don't know. I know that we are all individuals, but I don't know if we're inventing anything. Like, maybe our current fashion is an example of that. Like, did we invent any of this? Is
No.
this just right? It's sort of just cycling from 30 years ago, 40 years, 20 years, it's the
Yeah.
90s. That was a place and a time and a moment. And I mean, I don't know. I was like looking at something last night and I was like, jelly shoes. Whoa, jelly shoes are back. Like that was such a moment. That's not, no one invented that. Or I think the most famous current example of like the appropriation in fashion of like Prada with the Kolhapuri chappal. I mean, Prada didn't invent that chappal, that sandal. That sandal has been in the subcontinent in our culture for years, And so I guess and I think there's a lot of ego and pain and trauma connected to believing that we are inventing. And if we can let go of some of that, I think we can see that, like, oh, I'm actually just like my mom. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, okay, well, what are those things that are beautiful? And what are those things that are toxic that I can kind of step outside of or shift in me as I move forward in this part? It's like, this relay race, like we're all connected with this baton and running around the track. So how do we win? I think there's a lot to think about in that. Like the past is the present, is the future. Dot, 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 dot. So I mean, I think we can look at our politics of the world. Like, none of this is new. It's literally the same war, sadly, you know?
Yeah. No, I think that's so valid and such an interesting point. And it's so true. Like, why, if everything is connected and things keep repeating and cycling, why aren't we learning from it? Like, how do we move forward?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we want to. I think for some people it's easier not to analyze those aspects of self or aspect those of our community. I mean, we all have community, and there's some good things about how our community as a whole operates, and then there's some bad things. There's some ways our community has been weaponized. There's some ways our communities weaponize others. Like, but you have to be willing to see if you have to be guided by your higher values that are not dictated by one community. They're dictated by the goodness and the kindness and the care for others and liberation, true liberation. And so when you are seeking to liberate everyone, to me, that's the highest values. That is divine, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and on that note, what is a final message or point that you really want viewers to take away from the film? Like, let's say they're just watching this and you're like, this is what I want you to leave with. Here's how we can make the world a better place. I don't know, just give us a little something that'll inspire people. I mean, everything you say is inspiring, but we need a little.
Right. We just waxed philosophical poet. We just went down a track. But if there's one thing, I mean, I think, first of all, I think there's vibrance and joy and comedy everywhere. We forget about that. We forget about the power of comedy and joy. Um, and that when you're thinking about manifesting the life you want, I mean, what I love about this film is it was intentionally made to be joyous and romantic and beautiful. And when you're thinking about manifesting the life you want, think about watching, whether it's my movie or someone else's, watching movies and TV that also represents the joy that you want in your life, um, and the love. The queen of my dreams is love. If you want a love bomb, go watch this movie.
I love that. Okay, so the film is out now. It came out on June 20th. What's next? I know there are lots of like festivals, and I just saw something about it being in additional like theaters. So let the people know what's coming,
Yes.
where they can find it.
Yes. You can find the film, and you can find out everything that's happening in real time in two places. The Queen of My Dreams movie.com, our website, and the Queen of My Dreams Instagram page. Both of those places have all the information. We also have incredible merch for sale. obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. Um, and we are very excited because AMC picked up the film. And so it's releasing July 3rd, i.e., to this day, for an expanded release across the country, which is super exciting for an indie film. And it's being extended in, San Francisco, in LA. Like it's been in New York. Chicago is getting picked up at the music box. We're so excited for all of these wonderful screenings that are happening. And please sign up, stay tuned, sign up for the email list, all the things, because more is yet to come.
Amazing. Okay, well, congratulations. I am so excited
Thank
for
you.
everything that's happening and can't wait for the next film. I mean, like, I don't know what you're thinking, but we need something after this. I'm excited.
I, I got you. Don't worry. More is coming.